If you want to deadlift more weight without hurting your back, then give me the next 10 minutes because I'm going to go through a step-by-step guide on how you can get stronger on the deadlift without injuring yourself. So let's not waste any time. Let's hop into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're talking all about the deadlift. I'm going to go through form. I'm going to go through setup. I'm going to go through some cues. I'm going to go through how to progress it over time. And I'm even going to help you with a solid warm-up that you can go through to decrease your risk of injury. But before we do hop into it, if you guys have questions, I would love to know any questions that you have. Just let me know down in the comment section below. There's really no stupid question. I've been in the gym for 10 plus years and I still have questions. I don't know it all. And I'll be the first to admit that. So there's no stupid questions. If you got something you want to know, just let me know down in the comment section below. So we're going to talk about the conventional deadlift today. This will also work if you're doing a trap bar or hex bar deadlift. Sumo deadlift is just a little bit different. If you have interest in sumo deadlifts, let me know. I can come out with another video. But for the purpose of today, we're going to talk about the conventional deadlift. Deadlifts are such a great exercise to overload, to really train the posterior chain and your entire lower body, and is a really good exercise to build strength and just build power. And anyone can benefit from doing a deadlift, whether you're trying to deadlift more weight for a strength goal, whether you're looking for performance, whether you're looking to just learn how to pick something up off the ground safely. I've trained hundreds of clients on the deadlift, and there's different people of different goals, and anybody can deadlift. The main thing is that you have to lock in the form and you have to go through everything that we're going to talk about. And if you do that, you're going to lift more weight. You're going to be stronger and you're just going to decrease your risk of injury. So let's talk about the setup first. When you're getting to a deadlift, I think one of the biggest problems where people injure themselves is they try to lift too much weight too quickly and they don't have their form down. They don't have the setup correct. So just from the get-go, they're not putting themselves in a position for success. So when you approach the deadlift, you want to go through a full warm-up. I will link a full warm-up down in the comment section on our Fit Grind Training YouTube channel. We actually just started that, me and my wife. So I'll link the video to that. If you're looking for a good warm-up, definitely go look at that video next after you're done watching this one. It'll go through a full dynamic warm-up that you can do, again, to further decrease the risk of injury. Because today I want to talk more about the technique and the form on deadlifts. So when you're starting off, you're looking at the bar. The first 3-step checklist that you want to do when you're going to a deadlift is you, one, want to set your feet up to where when you look down at the bar, you shouldn't be able to see the lace on your shoe. We don't want to set up too far away from the deadlift. We don't want to set up too close. We want to make sure that you look down, your ankle isn't touching the bar. Also, it's not out over your toe. You want it right to where you can't see your shoelace. You got a little bit of room to breathe. From there, you're going to hinge your hips back. And from there, you're going to go into a squat. Now, as far as that squat, a lot of times, again, people squat too much because they're like, oh, I got to squat down and keep my hips low so I don't hurt my back. But the problem is if you squat too low to where your knees go out over your toes during the deadlift, the problem is your hips are going to shoot up to start because there's no tension, and then you're just going to end up using your back. So start off by a hinge in the hips like a Romanian deadlift, squat to where your knee is in line with your midfoot to your heel, and that's going to be the perfect position to deadlift from. Now, the next step I tell people is to take a breath and brace their core like they're going to get punched in their stomach. And this is why a warm-up like I talked about on that full video on our other channel is so important, because you want to make sure that you're doing some core activation so you know how to connect to those muscles, especially right before the workouts. I'm a firm believer in priming the right muscles, getting the core activated, especially on a exercise like the deadlift, where your core is going to be working like crazy to brace and keep stable. So you're going to take a breath, you're going to brace like someone's going to punch you in the stomach, and you're going to initiate the movement on the deadlift by pushing your feet into the ground. I think a lot of times people think of the deadlift as I'm going to pick this weight up off the ground. And instead, in order to use the right muscles, stay in the right position and keep yourself safe, you need to focus on keeping tight, pushing your feet into the ground. And you want to do that until you get the bar to the knee. And once you've done that, as long as you keep your core tight, you don't have any change in your core where we're not letting our hips shoot up, we're not letting our back round. As long as you do that, you push the ground away. You're pushing, and get that bar to your knee. As soon as you get that bar to your knee, You're going to drive your hips into the bar like a hip thrust, squeeze your glutes, and you want to be perfectly neutral spine. So a lot of times this is another place where people get kind of squirrely with their deadlift and they get it to the knee, they're shaking like crazy, and they try and do this like quarter squat thing where they try and hitch and get the bar up. Instead, just think to yourself, I give my clients the cue of push your hips into the bar, squeeze your glutes, stand nice and tall, or we're not hyperextended, we don't have a soft lockout. If you can do that, you're going to use the right muscles. And that is the form that's going to keep you safe on deadlift. It's going to help you use the most amount of weight because you're using the right muscles. You're using the strong, powerful muscles of the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings. You're keeping your core really tight. You're not allowing any flexion or extension in your back. And like I said, all of that is what's going to keep you safe on the deadlift. I think the problem, like I said earlier, lies with the deadlift. It gets such a bad stigma for an exercise that's going to hurt your back because people just try and ego lift. They try and throw as much weight as they possibly can on the deadlift. And don't get me wrong, like a deadlift is a great exercise to build strength. And as you get stronger, you're going to be able to load the deadlift very heavily. But if you are adding too much weight too soon, that's where you're going to run into the issue of injuring your back or getting into compromised positions that if it doesn't hurt your back at that time, eventually you're going to hurt your back down the road. So what I would recommend is master the form that we talked about first. You want to make sure that you have everything locked in. Your reps at 135 or 600 should look the same. Everything should look the same. You want to practice the same way that you're going to do your top sets. I think that's another area that I think a lot of people, they come in, they don't do proper warm-up sets on a deadlift. So say that you've built some strength and you're deadlifting 300, 400, 500 pounds. You need to do warm-up sets before that. So you've done your dynamic warm-up. You go into some warm-up sets with the barbell. Maybe you do 10 reps at the bar. You do 8 to 10 with 135, 6 to 8 with 225. You do 275, 315, just depending on what your first set is. You have to slowly acclimate your nervous system and your body to that bar. That is dramatically going to increase your performance. And it's also going to decrease your risk of injury big time. So warm up before your workout, hit your warm up sets, get in the right position, and you're going to be able to deadlift more weight. And you're going to notice that your strength is going to start to skyrocket too, because once you lock in the form, you keep everything the same, you're training the right muscles, you're actually building strength in the right muscles that is going to lead to progress on the deadlift versus if you're just trying to pick it up with your back, you're not really building any strength and your deadlift is just going to plateau. It's going to stall and you're not going to see any progress. So follow these tools, follow these tips, and I promise you guys are going to see awesome gains on your deadlift and be able to do it safely as well. So let me know what questions you have on the deadlift. Like I said, on our other channel, we literally just started it, Fit Grind Formula Training YouTube with me and my wife, where we go through a lot of tips on training. We just recorded a video about warming up. Make sure you guys go check out that next. I'll leave the link to that down in the comments below. Go watch that video next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Are you somebody who walks into the gym and just starts throwing around weights without doing a proper warm-up?
If that sounds like you, then we have the perfect video for today because we're going to take you through the perfect warm-up that you can do before any workouts. It's going to take 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to increase your performance, and it's going to help you decrease your risk of injury for any strength training workouts. So let's not waste any time. Let's hop into it.